Hello guys, and welcome to the third of our 5-part video series by Windows 10. Hello Linux Mint. And in this video we are gonna doing our first steps on our fresh installed Linux Mint. We already did a few things in the last video where we also installed Linux Mint next to Windows or over Windows. So both versions are okay, and in this video we are considering essential software. So what email client should you use, how to do, for example, web apps if you still want to stick to Outlook, for example. What about Microsoft Office, what about alternatives, what about software updates, and also how to deal with PDFs on your Linux Mint computer. And I would say let's start right through with our first chapter. I put you all the time codes into the video description so that you can look after them if you are not interested into one particular topic. And I would say let's start right through with emails. So on Windows, many of you had Outlook. This isn't supported for Linux. So if you want to still use Outlook, you have to use the web version. About this we will talk about in a few minutes. But if you still want to use an email client on your computer like Outlook, I personally recommend you Thunderbird, and I'm personally also using Thunderbird because it can handle many mail accounts at once. It can deal with encryption, signatures, and all the things you love. Also, it has a calendar right built into it, also account sharing and so on. So I highly recommend just to have a look at it, because I would say Thunderbird Mail is the best mail client we have in our Linux world. And Thunderbird comes pre-installed on Linux Mint, so you can just open it up by going to the menu and hit Internet. Here we have our Thunderbird Mail, and at the first glance we are asked to fill in our existing email address and our login data. For some mail providers this doesn't work out of the box. So for example, if you're not using Gmail or another public mail provider, just have a look. For example, if you're using GMX, then have a look to GMX and then Thunderbird, and then we can look here how to do the steps on our email account and to activate the IMAP protocol and maybe also the SMTP protocol. So this could be different for every mail provider, but also many providers just allow it right away, so you don't have to set anything up. But it's worth looking if you come along any issues at this process here. And I put in my name, for example, John Doe, and I'm filling out my mail address I want to connect now and my password for it. Then I hit continue, and then it's looking up the configuration automatically, and this almost works perfectly. So in the most cases you don't have to configure anything manually. You could just use the automatic available configuration. I want to choose IMAP. If you have the choice between IMAP and POP3, please use IMAP. That's the more modern protocol, which is more server-like, and you want to use this. Hit done, and then we set it up our account. Also, it is looking up automatically for calendars if our email provider supports it. Sadly, my email provider doesn't support it right out of the box, but many others do. So you could just hit then, hey, link my calendar or connect my calendar, also connect my address book, for example. But at this email account, this doesn't work out of the box, but that's completely okay. You could also, for example, add a signature right away or go to the account settings, but you can always get to the account settings if we close all these tabs on the right top corner here, and then we are hitting account settings. Here we are, and here we have our mail addresses. As you see, we can add many more email addresses. Just have a look right here, and then we can choose new account, and then for example an email account, calendar account, or we could also choose a new address book and so on. But these three are the main reasons why many people use Thunderbird. And here we can also, of course, define our signature text. and also many other settings to going them through once if you want to just, but also the default settings are nowadays in Thunderbird very convenient and are just right set that you could just start doing emails right now. You have an inbox here. You have some threads also here. So some email messages are grouped together if Thunderbird recognizes them, that they are kind of a chat-like conversation. But if you don't like this, personally, I'm not liking this, so I go to this icon here and select sort by, and here in the sort by thing we can say unthreaded, and then we don't have this thread option anymore, and then now every email is just a single email. This is what we want, and yeah, this looks great, I guess. So this is for our mail client. Very nice, very convenient. You also have an address book here, for example. You could, of course, connect it here, create a new address book, and you could create a CardDAV address book. Many mail providers also support this. Of course, also LDAP address book, but also you can add some calendars like Google Calendar, for example, but also some others. Very easy. You could just do it here by clicking on new calendar on the network, and then you can start right away. If you want to have a tutorial how to connect your, for example, your Google Calendar to Thunderbird, just write it me into the comments. And if you want to have more information about Thunderbird, I created a crash course a few months ago, so I put a link to it into the video description. So this is it about Thunderbird. But now, what is if you want to use Outlook, or you have to continue using Outlook? Then there's an option. Microsoft is also pushing many users onto the web application. So this isn't too bad for Linux users, because the web application, of course, works on Linux also very good. And yeah, this is how we do it. At first, we make sure that we have a specific application installed. I open up the software manager, and here we are waiting one moment. It takes some time if we open it the very first time on our computer. Okay, after some time, this is finished. And here on the left top corner of the software manager, we can search for Chromium, just like this. And here we see the Chromium web browser. If you followed the tutorial on the last part of the video, you already have Chromium installed, but I didn't. So here I can just hit install here. And let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes until this is installed. This shouldn't take too long. Okay, perfect. Now Chromium is installed. We don't want to start it right now because we don't have to, because what I want to show you is the web apps section of Linux Mint. And web apps are working with this Chromium browser at its best, I would say. So I close everything and we go to the menu back again, and then we have a look at the internet section, and here we have an app called Web Apps. We open this one up, and here we can very easily define new web apps, for example, Outlook. And so to get to Outlook, I click on plus, and then I can type in Outlook, for example, as a name, and then I have to insert the address. And for that, we can Google it, for example, so Outlook web app, for example, and then we may see an address like this one, for example. We take this one, https://outlook.live.com. So I type in https:// and then outlook.live.com. So this looks good. As a browser, I choose Chromium, and of course I could also change the category, for example, to Office here. This could be also fine, but I guess we leave it in Internet. Then I just keep the rest as it is, and then hit OK. So now we have installed Outlook, kind of. It's just our Chromium, but defined to run as a web app here as Outlook. So if I open up Outlook now, then we are getting an Outlook web application, then we have to sign in once, and after we signed in once, then our Outlook just looks like a normal app. Yeah, but of course this is a web app, but it has its own icon, its own window, and behaves like its own program. So this is a great thing. And of course you can do this with different things. For example, your Google Calendar if you want to. So I hit plus, for example, I type in Google Calendar, and then I type in https colon// and then we take calendar.google.com, for example. Of course, you could choose Gmail and whatever you want. You're completely free to do this. And then I hit browser Chromium, because yeah, Chromium is much more better at such web app tasks, I would say. And then I hit OK here, and now we have a Google Calendar just working, just like an Google Calendar. Of course, we also have to sign in here once, but afterwards this just works like a normal calendar app, but it's the Google Calendar app for this. And yeah, this is very flexible and a great function of Linux Mint if you ask me. And so we are done with this section, and let's come to another section which many users of you have to or want to do. It's Office suites. So writing text documents, doing some Excel or calculation stuff, and also maybe to prepare some presentations, maybe. And yeah, there is a Office suite right pre-installed on Linux Mint, and this is called LibreOffice. LibreOffice is, I would say, the best open source Office suite you could have. Very easy, very nice. We have a tip of the day. Nice. I could untick this if you want. And then hit OK. And then at the current version I am using here, the icons are a bit messed up, but we can revert this by going to Tools here and then hitting Options. And then here in Options, I go to View, and here in View, I go to Theme and choose Libre. And I select this one, hit apply, and then we have our icons back where we want them. And also we can configure some other view which is similar to, for example, Microsoft Office. We go to View here, and then we go to User Interface, and here in User Interface I recommend the tabbed UI variant. I click on tabbed and then tip on apply to all, and then this looks like this. Very similar to Microsoft Office and much more functional in my opinion. And I personally am using this as my default view for LibreOffice. And I would say in the end, LibreOffice is a great Office suite if you are not dependent on your Microsoft Office format. So if you have to stick to the Microsoft Office formats for the long run, I personally can't recommend LibreOffice at the current time. They want to improve that in the next versions, but right now I can't really recommend LibreOffice if you have to stick to the Microsoft Office formats. But of course, there are some different solutions for this. And one of the solutions I can recommend you is, it is not open source, but aims to be an Microsoft Office clone, kind of, and this is called Softmaker Free Office. So I search this one and then go to Softmaker Free Office. I hit free download for Linux, and then I choose download, and I choose the deb package here. So the middle one, and then we wait for a few seconds. Yeah, Softmaker Free Office is from Germany. And as you see, they want to be an alternative to Microsoft Office, and they are really good in doing this and have a very high compatibility with the Microsoft Office formats. If you want an open source alternative which aims to be like this but still is missing some features, let's have a look at OnlyOffice. So here we see it. Run your private office. So here we see it. It also is very similar to the Microsoft Office suite, but its compatibility and its functionality is not as high as, for example, Softmaker Office or LibreOffice. And if you are completely free to choose and you don't rely on any document formats, I personally would recommend you, of course, the pre-installed LibreOffice, because this is really free, this is really open source, and this is the document foundation we want to support. So just keep this in mind. In the long run, I highly recommend you switching to the LibreOffice formats. But of course, I can understand if you can't do this because you have to work with some others which only are using the Microsoft Office standard. So when our package finished downloading, we can just click on it, and then a installer opens up, and we wait for a small amount of time. And here I hit install package and I hit authenticate here, and now Softmaker is installing. This takes a little moment. Okay, the installation was successful. I can close this window, and if we now have a look to our Office section, we see our free Office suite here: Plan Maker, Presentations, and Text Maker. Great, and yeah, very easy, and we can just now start using them. I hit OK, and then yeah, this is loading a quick moment. You could store some user information, but you also couldn't, so I hit cancel here, and then yeah, we can just start editing some text documents. And these support the Microsoft Office formats very well and are a great alternative to the Microsoft Office suite. Okay, this is it for Office on Linux. Let's go to a different topic, and this is software and updates on Linux Mint. Very easy on Linux Mint because we don't have to set up so many things. We can open up our update manager by going to the menu and searching for update. Here we have it, or we could also just click on this small shield here. I click on it, and then we see some updates which I could apply right now. And it also asks us to switch to a local mirror. So if you want to use a faster download server, you could do this, but you don't have to. And honestly, for example, in North America or Central Europe, the download times are completely fine for the official server. So you don't have to switch to a local mirror, but you can do if you want. I personally just hit no here, and then this is fine. We can also install updates completely manually, but we can also configure them that it is updating itself completely automatically. So for that, I hit edit and I go to preferences. Here in preferences, I go to the automation tab, and here I can enable all 4 things. If you followed the last tutorial in this series, you already have these 2 enabled because Linux Assistant did its job perfect, but I also highly recommend just to select the other 2 update options, and then this is doing it completely automatically. I highly recommend it because there are released about 10 updates a week, so you don't want to install them manually, especially if you are using multiple Linux Mint computers. It's driving you crazy. Maybe after half of a year, and you want to do the automation, trust me. You don't have to in particular, so it's also completely fine just disabling all these 4 things. But this is it for updates. From now on, we don't have to bother about updates anymore, so I can close it, and it's doing updates automatically from now on, so this is completely fine. If you sometimes want to shut down your computer from right now on, and you can't, because the shutdown button is away and also the restart button is away, and then this is because your system is doing updates, for example, automatically right now, and this will be displayed by a little gear sign here, and then you can hover with the mouse, and then it's saying, hey, I'm doing automatic updates. Then just wait for a few minutes, and afterwards you can regular shut down the computer. You don't want to force the shutdown process, because otherwise it could be that your computer isn't working properly after it. So please never force the computer shutting down. especially if the shutdown option is not available or the gear sign on this panel here is present. Okay, this is it for updates. For installing some software, it's also very easy on Linux Mint because we have an app store. We just saw it a few minutes ago, so we can just go to this icon here. It is called Software Manager on Linux Mint, or we could also search for it. Okay, nice. I open this up and it takes a moment. Okay, nice. Here we have it. And there you can search for almost everything and just install it with one click. I personally want to recommend you one more application, and this is called Gear Lever. So Gear Lever is an application which also handles app images. This is a kind of a new app format in Linux. It's just like a portable file. It's a downloadable file. You don't have to install it. You could just go right hand and execute it, and Gear Lever is ensuring that and gives you a small management option about these app images. I highly recommend you just to download it, and then it's working completely automatically. So I hit install here, hit continue, and from now on it is installing. And this is it for app images. Yeah, if you come across to an app image, for example, if we go to Only Office, here we have our Only Office site, and if I go to download here and hit desktop and mobile apps, then we get also some Linux apps, and I could choose, for example, the app image. So I just download it, just for example. This takes a moment, and we wait until all these both entries are finished. And I would say we wait for a small moment. Okay, after a few seconds, my desktop editors are downloaded. So in the end, I could just open the file, and then we see a new application pop up, our Gear Lever. And for that, I can hit unlock. And then afterwards, we can just launch it or move it to the app menu. And then we could just search for Only Office, for example, and we have our app image just kind of installed. So also very easy. And from now on, you can get every software you want on Linux. And this is just fine. But at first, I highly recommend you just to look at the software manager if the software is right available there. And for example, the Only Office desktop editors are also, of course, available at the software manager. So you don't have to install this app image, but I just wanted to show you the process of it. And this is it about software under Linux Mint. At first, just have a look to the software manager and then just try them out. But sometimes, for example, you have also different options to install. For example, if we have a look to PDF Arranger, I search for it, and then we see two different things. We see both are PDF Arranger. One is FlatHub, the other one is kind of nothing. And what do you want to choose? If I open something up, you see under the install button sometimes a drop-down menu. There you can select between the system package or the Flatpak. I personally highly recommend you to go first with the system package because it is better integrated into the system, but it might be a bit older, but at most of the cases it's completely fine. So just try it with the system package. If the system package is not working or doesn't fit your needs, try it with the Flatpak package, if available, of course. If only one of these are available, yeah, just go with it. And if this also doesn't work, then you could look up into the internet, but the internet should be your third option to install software on Linux Mint. And this is it, how to deal with software. Very easy, and most of the cases, just hit install and it's completely fine. Okay, and if you don't stick to this rule, it's also completely fine. But if some people ask me, hey, what do you want to prefer or what do you recommend? You just heard it, how I would do it and how I am personally doing it. So this is it for our software management under Linux Mint. Now we come to the last section of this video, and this is how to deal with PDF files. And for that, I just downloaded a PDF file. This is the i3 cheat sheet I released for another video. This is a completely different story, but I just want to have a PDF file here. Of course, you can see here we can very easily just open our PDF file and just read it. Very easy. We can also choose between reader view and page view. For example, if I go to reader view, then this just behaves like a normal PDF, I would say. And this works right out of the box, but it does only display PDFs, and that's basically it. So there's some other PDF software I could highly recommend you, and I would say we just start to install all this software. So for that, I open up my software manager again here, and I search for PDF Arranger. We just installed it. Oh no, we didn't. So okay, we install it. I take the system package here and hit install and continue, type in my password, authenticate myself, and this takes a small moment. While this is installing, we search for the next program I want to show you, and this is called Xornal++. We take also the system package here, so I go with this package here and I hit install. I continue, and then we are installing it. Our next program is Ocular. So this is Ocular, nice. We take, of course, also the system package here. So Ocular, this takes a bit until our installation button is available. Okay, now this is available. I hit install and then continue, and also Ocular is installing right now. So while Ocular is installing, we could minimize our software manager and we can just have a look at all the applications we have installed. And for that, I go to the downloads page where I have my PDF file. Of course, you could take whatever PDF file you want, and I personally open it up via the PDF Arranger. So I right click it and then hit open with, and then I hit PDF Arranger. And in here, you can, for example, merge some multiple PDF files. So for example, we can drag and drop some other PDF file into this, or just the same. It's completely irrelevant. We can choose where we want to attach this, for example, here on the end. And then, yeah, we could merge some PDF files, of course. We can rearrange the pages here, also very easy. But of course, we could just right click it and, for example, crop the white borders, for example. Or we could also, for example, split the pages. So split, and then this is also fine. But also we could, for example, generate a booklet. So this could also be helpful. As you see, yeah, we can rearrange or arrange our PDF files, or we can delete some sites, of course. So right click and delete. We could rotate it, and so on and so on. Okay, nice. Now in the end, we can just save our PDF file, or save as, and then I just name it, for example, arranged. Okay, now perfect, save. I hit OK here, and then I close this window, and then we have our arranged PDF file. So if I open this up in our PDF viewer, then we see, okay, there's our result. Okay, to be honest, not too exciting, but yeah, I just wanted to show you some of this functionality and what to do basically with PDF Arranger. I guess you have some more productive ways for using it. Otherwise, it's also completely okay. Let's have a look to the next application I want to show you. And this is if we want to write something to it, if you want to fill out something. If we want to fill out a PDF form, you can do this very easily with a Chromium web browser. Chromium is also very good in doing this, but if you want to draw in it, for example, add some additional text or images, then Xornal++ could be the right option for you. And yeah, there you can't move existing stuff, or you can't edit existing stuff, but you can add something. So for example, we can draw to it. Nice. We can, for example, use a text marker, but also, of course, if we want to fix something up, could be also very helpful. We could erase something. That's a bit, yeah, kind of hacky, but it works. So I select the eraser, and then here in the eraser I select white out, and then I could, for example, white out the cheat sheet, and then I could select our text here, and then I could say cheat sheet 2, for example. Of course, I could change the font size here, or the bold one. I guess now it's kind of similar. Hey, it's not too bad. Okay, this is it for signing for yeah, something like this. You could also add some multiple pages. So this is great for taking notes, for example. You could also, for example, create a page which has graph paper on it. So I select graph, and then afterwards I select insert page, and then we have a new page with graph paper where you can take some notes, for example. This also works very great with some stylus pens or similar. If your computer has it, then this could be also very helpful. Many other tools, but I'm not going too specific into this topic. If you want to have more information about this, I put you the link to the video about this into the video description. So this is it for Xonal++. Of course, in the end, we could export it as a PDF, arranged, annotated PDF. Nice. I take this, I hit save, and then I close this one. I don't want to save it in the Xonal++ format. This could be very helpful, but I just exported it as a PDF, so this is fine for me. I could discard it, and then we have our arranged, annotated PDF. And then let's go to the more advanced PDF viewer, which could be also very helpful if you just want to have a look at PDF files, if you maybe want very quick mark something up, if you want to add very quick notes to it, and just want kind of a better document viewer, you could choose Ocular, just if you want. So I open it up, and then yeah, we have a very easy but also very advanced PDF viewer here. And for this, we have some tools we could use here, and this is on the right top corner here. And here we can, for example, choose a very easy yellow highlighter, and then I can just select some text here, and then it is doing it very easily. So this is also a great tool. We could also add some notes, for example, to it. Here, pop-up note, for example. Also inline note is great. So I choose the inline note. I drag a rect here, and then afterwards I can type into this. So hello world, subscribe to LinuxOrt, of course. Okay, nice. And then I can just close it, and then we have a inline note, for example, but also a pop-up note could be great. So just a single note here, which will pop up, of course, then on other PDF viewers. So test would be also just fine. So this could be also very helpful if you just want to have a look about this. You could also choose more annotation tools. So here we could freehand line something. So we could also kind of draw something with it. So there are some tools you could also use on Ocular. Just write into it if you don't want to use, for example, Xonal++. And this could be a very good kind of advanced PDF viewer if you want to use it. So I press Ctrl S, and it just saves it onto the PDF. And now we have a really messed up PDF, which we could just, of course, right away open it up with our default PDF viewer. Of course, we can change it. So I right click the PDF file and hit properties here. And then we can go to the tab open with here. And then we can choose, for example, Ocular, and then set it as a default. Nice. I hit close here, and then nice. We have changed our default viewer here for this. Okay, very nice. So this is it to PDFs. One last note to this, you didn't see that we really changed some text or we moved around some text or some images inside the PDF. Of course, we can add some images and something like this with External++, for example, but we can't move or remove something of a PDF, because what we now did is almost adding some more information to a PDF. We never deleted it or we changed it. Of course, also you see it if I go to text selection mode here. I could select the text beneath the cheat sheet, the original cheat sheet, because these are just additional layers added to the PDF. So if you really want to edit a PDF, move some stuff around, or just go into some block text and change some words in there, this shouldn't be done with PDFs. PDFs are not for doing this. PDFs are a printable document format, not an editable document format. So if you want to edit documents, please move around them and have them saved as a docx ODT file or something else, not a PDF file. But if you really have to do it, there are also some applications which are capable of in Linux, but there are not any good applications, I would say. One very easy is LibreOffice Draw, but to be honest, it isn't the best. I really wouldn't recommend it for especially very advanced PDF files, because their LibreOffice Draw is very bad in it. If you want to convert a PDF back to a, for example, docx or ODT file, there are some PDF converters online, so you could use them. Or if you want a full PDF editor, then the master PDF editor could be a thing. This is also available for Linux, but many users don't like it anymore, and also this isn't available anymore in the software manager. So yeah, just you know it, there is an option, but don't recommend it at all, editing a PDF by switching some text out, because this isn't what a PDF should be capable of. But of course, if you really have to, sometimes you have to, because the source document is gone or you don't have the source document, then you could choose this, for example, by convert PDF to Word, kind of, yeah. Convert PDF to a Word. There are some things which I used for some time, is the Adobe Convert PDF. You could just use it and then you get a docx file which you can edit in LibreOffice or Softmaker Office, for example. It's completely fine, but yeah, this is online, and this functionality is not well established in the free software and open source world. So yeah, this could be another thing, but honestly, I won't recommend it. Just do it if you really have to do it. Okay, this is it for dealing with PDF files inside Linux Mint. I wanted to put this topic into this video because many new users asked for it in the last month. So I thought, hey, maybe we should talk about this topic a bit more in this video. And yeah, this is it. This was the third part of our video series. In the next two parts, we are doing some customization on our desktop, and also we are talking about security. So if you don't want to miss them out, just leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. This would really help us. And with it, I would say, have fun using Linux Mint, using your mail client, web apps, installing software, doing some Office stuff, and maybe also edit some PDF files. Bye bye.